Welcome to the lesson on expressing likes, dislikes, and preferences. In this lesson, we will explore how to effectively communicate your preferences and interests in English. Whether you're discussing your favorite hobbies, food choices, or cultural interests, expressing your likes and dislikes is an essential part of building meaningful conversations. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to express your likes and dislikes confidently. Form sentences to discuss your preferences in various contexts. Ask others about their likes and dislikes. Engage in conversations about hobbies, food, entertainment, and cultural interests. Why is this important? Well, being able to express your preferences not only enhances your language skills, but also allows you to connect with people on a personal level. It opens doors to exciting conversations, helps you discover common interests, and enriches your social interactions. What you will learn. Throughout this course, we will cover vocabulary related to likes, dislikes, and preferences, explore sentence structures for expressing them, and engage in practical exercises to reinforce your learning. Now, let's dive into the world of expressing likes, dislikes, and preferences. Are you ready to get started? Let's start with some common vocabulary. Like, to have a positive feeling about something. For example, I like hiking. Love, to have a very strong affection for something. For example, I love playing the guitar, or I love my kids. When you say you love something, it means you have a very, very strong affection for that thing. Enjoy, to take pleasure in an activity. For example, I enjoy reading books, or I enjoy eating good food. Prefer, to choose one thing over another. For example, I prefer tea to coffee, meaning I like them both, but I like the tea more than I like the coffee. I prefer tea to coffee. Dislike, to have a negative feeling about something. For example, I dislike rainy days. And then hate. This would be the opposite of love. To have a strong aversion to something, or to have a very strong dislike for something. For example, I hate waking up early. These words are the building blocks for expressing your feelings and preferences. As we progress through the course, you'll learn how to use them in sentences to convey your likes, dislikes, and preferences effectively. Let's look at some good examples of expressing a like. I really like going for long walks in the park. It's so relaxing. Explanation. This example effectively expresses a like. I really like going for long walks, and provides a brief reason for the preference. Here's a good example of expressing a dislike. I dislike spicy food because it upsets my stomach. This example clearly expresses a dislike. I dislike spicy food, and provides a valid reason for the preference and for the dislike. Good example of expressing a preference. I prefer watching documentaries over action movies. I find them more informative. This example articulates a preference. I prefer watching documentaries, and offers a reason for the preference, making the statement more informative as well. Here are some common mistakes when expressing likes, dislikes, and preferences. I like pizza. Now, while stating the like, the sentence lacks details or context, making it less engaging for conversation. This doesn't really help you get into a conversation. You just say, I like pizza. The other person might be like, okay, cool. I like pizza too. It doesn't really bring about a conversation. I hate Mondays. This statement expresses a very strong dislike, but doesn't provide a reason or context, making it less informative and less likely to lead to a meaningful conversation. Now, this can work if you know the person doesn't like Mondays either, because you could just say, I hate Mondays. And then your friend or your work colleague might be like, yeah, I hate them too. But it would be best to give some reasons, or to at least give a reason. Common mistake in expressing a preference. I prefer the blue one. This statement indicates a preference but doesn't specify what the preference is for, leaving it unclear and less communicative. So if you just say, I like the blue one, okay, what blue one? What blue thing? What are we talking about? It doesn't have that context with it, so it could be a bit confusing. Now let's delve into expressing your likes with confidence. When you want to share your positive feelings about something, use these sentence structures. Subject plus like plus noun or verb. Example 1. I, the subject, like ice cream. The noun. I like ice cream. We use the subject plus like plus the noun. I like ice cream. Now this you should follow up with a reason as to why you like ice cream to make it more conversational. Example 2. She likes to swim. She is the subject, likes to swim. Verb. Now you can have the subject plus really like plus noun and verb. They really like watching movies. He really likes playing guitar. And now we look at love. I love chocolate. She loves reading books. This is a very common sentence structure when expressing likes and love and things like that. These sentence structures will help you convey your positive feelings and interests effectively. Remember to add specific details or reasons to make your expressions more engaging and informative. Now, let's practice. Share something you really like with your partner or a fellow learner or your friends and family. Pause the video and do this now. Or if you don't have a partner with you right now, do it a little bit later. Now, let's explore how to express your likes with clarity. When you want to share your negative feelings about something, use these sentence structures. Subject plus dislike plus noun and verb. Notice that this is the same as the likes, except we're just changing it to dislike and hate. Example 1. I dislike rainy days. She dislikes spicy food. They really dislike early mornings. I know a lot of people who really dislike early mornings. He really dislikes loud music. I hate waiting in long lines. I think a lot of people hate waiting in long lines when they're trying to do something, maybe at the bank or at an office. She hates cleaning the house. Now, these sentence structures will help you express your negative feelings or aversions clearly. Just like with expressing likes, adding specific details or reasons can make your expressions more relatable. Let's practice expressing dislikes now. Share something you really dislike with your partner or a fellow learner. It is essential to distinguish between preferences and dislikes when expressing your feelings. Let's clarify the difference. Preferences. Preferences are the things you choose or like more than something else. They are not negative feelings, but indicate what you favor. For example, I prefer tea to coffee. Again, we're not saying that we don't like coffee. We're just saying that we like tea more than coffee. Dislikes are when you have negative feelings or aversions towards something. You don't enjoy or like it. For example, I dislike rainy weather. There is no preference over here. This is just a negative feeling towards that thing. It's important to use the correct words based on your feelings. If you merely prefer one thing over another without any negative sentiment, use prefer. If you have negative feelings, use dislike or hate. Understanding this distinction will help you express yourself more accurately and avoid misunderstandings in conversations. Now that you know how to express your own likes and dislikes, let's explore how to ask others about their preferences. Asking questions is a fantastic way to get to know people better and engage in meaningful conversations. Common questions to ask. What do you like to do in your free time? Do you have any hobbies or interests? Is there a type of food you really enjoy? What kind of music do you listen to? Are there any activities you dislike? Let's look at some good examples here. What do you enjoy doing in your free time? This question is open-ended and encourages the other person to share their hobbies or interests. Are there any activities you're not particularly fond of? This question is considerate and uses a softer tone when asking about dislikes, making the conversation more comfortable. So, if we want to ask someone what they dislike, we don't have to say, "What do you dislike?" We say, "What are you not fond of?" or "What are you not particularly fond of?" It's just a softer way of asking about a dislike. Is there a type of cuisine you really like? This question is specific and encourages the person to discuss their food preferences, which can lead to a more engaging conversation. Common mistakes to avoid. Do you like anything? This question is too vague and broad and may make the other person unsure of how to respond. It's better to ask about specific interests or activities. What don't you like? This question is too direct and may put the other person on the spot. It's more considerate to use a slightly softer tone when asking about dislikes. It's also very broad, very vague, so you're not even asking about a specific thing that they don't like. What kind of food do you prefer? While this is not a bad question, it could be more specific. Asking about a particular cuisine or type of food can lead to a more engaging conversation. So instead of saying, "What kind of food do you prefer?" you could say, "What kind of American food do you prefer?" or "What kind of burger do you prefer?" These questions can help you understand others' preferences, build connections, and find common interests. When asking about dislikes, be considerate and open to hearing different opinions. Let's practice asking these questions. Pair up with a partner and take turns asking each other about their likes and dislikes. Now that you know how to express and ask about likes and dislikes, let's focus on discussing your hobbies and interests. Sharing your passions can lead to engaging conversations and help you connect with others on a personal level. How to discuss hobbies and interests. Start with a statement of your interest. I enjoy, and then put in whatever you enjoy. I enjoy swimming in the lake. Add details. I enjoy playing the guitar in my free time. Mention the reasons or benefits. I find it relaxing and a great way to unwind. Ask about the other person's interests. What are your hobbies or favorite pastimes? So let's look at some good examples here. I enjoy painting in my free time. It's a creative outlet for me, and I find it incredibly relaxing. This example not only shares the hobby, but also provides a reason and a personal benefit, making the statement engaging. What are your hobbies or favorite pastimes? This question is open-ended and encourages the other person to share their interests, setting the stage for a conversation. I love hiking, and I see you enjoy the outdoors too. Have you been on any interesting hikes recently? This statement not only shares an interest, but also connects with the other person's interests and invites a conversation or initiates a conversation. Common mistakes to avoid. I paint. This statement is too brief and it lacks details. It doesn't provide much for the other person to engage with in a conversation. Do you have any hobbies? This question is somewhat vague and may not lead to a detailed discussion. It's better to ask about specific interests or activities. I like hiking. Now, while sharing the interest, this statement doesn't encourage further conversation or connections with the other person's interests. Share one of your hobbies or interests with a partner or a fellow learner. Use the structure provided and feel free to ask about their hobbies as well. Remember, discussing hobbies is a fantastic way to connect with others, discover shared interests, and have enjoyable conversations. Practice, 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 people. Practice as much as you can. Any of these exercises that you get throughout the course, practice them. And don't just do it once. Do it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times if you must. It's the quickest and easiest way that you're going to learn and get better and more confident with your English abilities. Effective discussions about hobbies and interests should be detailed, open-ended, and engaging, allowing for meaningful conversations and connections. Food is a topic that often brings people together, and discussing food preferences can lead to enjoyable conversations. Whether you have a favorite cuisine or particular dietary preference, expressing them can enhance your interactions. How to express food preferences. Start with your preference. I really like Italian food. Share details. I enjoy the flavors and the variety of pasta dishes. Mention any dietary preferences. I'm a vegetarian, so I prefer vegetarian options. Ask about the other person's food preferences. What type of food do you like to eat? Good example of expressing a food preference. I really like Thai cuisine. The combination of sweet, sour, and spicy flavors in Thai dishes is amazing. This example not only expresses a food preference, but also provides a reason and description, making the statement engaging. What type of cuisine do you enjoy the most? This question is open-ended and encourages the other person to share their favorite cuisine, setting the stage for a conversation. I prefer vegetarian options, and I see you're a vegetarian too. Any favorite veggie dishes you'd recommend? The statement shares a food preference and connects with the other person's dietary choice, initiating a conversation. Common mistakes to avoid. I like Italian food. This statement is too brief and it lacks details. It doesn't provide much for the other person to engage with in a conversation. Again, sure, but Italian food is so broad. There are so many different Italian dishes. Just saying, I like Italian food doesn't really give much. Do you like food? This question is too vague and may not lead to a detailed discussion. Of course, everyone likes food. I'm a vegetarian. While it expresses a dietary preference, this statement doesn't encourage further conversation or connections with the other person's food preferences. Share one of your favorite foods or a cuisine you enjoy with a partner or fellow learner. Use the structure provided and ask about their food preferences as well. Talking about food can be a delightful way to connect with others, discover new dishes, and even plan meals together. As we wrap up this module on expressing likes, dislikes, and preferences, it's essential to remember the key points. Express with details. When discussing your likes, dislikes, or preferences, add specific details, reasons, or descriptions to make your expressions engaging and relatable. Ask open-ended questions. When inquiring about others' likes and dislikes, use open-ended questions to encourage meaningful conversations and connections. Connect with others. Find common interests or shared preferences to build connections with people. Connecting over likes and dislikes can lead to more engaging interactions. Be considerate. When discussing dislikes, be mindful of your tone and use a considerate approach to create a comfortable environment for conversation. Take a moment to reflect on your likes, dislikes, and preferences and think about how you can use them to connect with others. Then, share your thoughts with a partner or a fellow learner. Now that you have a solid foundation in expressing and discussing your preferences, you're better equipped to engage in conversations and build meaningful connections. We hope you've enjoyed this module. Bye-bye. See you in the next lesson.